Good evening, everyone, and thank you once again for joining us for our bi-weekly live stream for guided meditations and our Dharma talk. Today is July 24th. It is 6 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone, and tonight's topic we're going to talk about understanding the real world. We often hear that. Wait till you're in the real world. The real world doesn't care, and so forth. We often hear various statements along those lines, and we'll explore, are they real or not, right? It's important to understand where people's perspectives are in those particular comments. But in order for us to begin, why don't we start off with our guided meditation on opening awareness so that we can understand a little bit more about our real world. So if you like, I will be more than happy to guide you through this guided meditation. So go ahead and begin by taking yourself and allowing yourself to get into a nice, comfortable position. You may close your eyes or keep them slightly open with a soft focus. If you're sitting, looking gently down in front of you, just a few feet. Breathe in. Pause. And slowly exhale. And as you sit there, I warmly invite you to allow a half smile to just rest on your face as well. Allow your spine to lift and your shoulders to soften. And soften your belly as you begin to settle in. Go ahead and breathe in. Pause. And slowly exhale, either through your nose or through your mouth, whatever's comfortable for you. And then for the next few moments, we'll begin our meditation on open awareness. And we'll start with just a brief body scan. And moving from head to toe, go ahead and rest your attention on each part of the body with mindfulness. Starting from the top, from your head, maybe your nose and mouth, down to your neck and shoulders, perhaps. Noticing any tension or tightness. Down through your chest. Feeling the natural cycle of your breath. Nice and relaxed, but aware of any sensations you may be experiencing. Maybe down through your waist and your hips, arms and elbows and forearms. Palms, your fingertips. Letting go of any tension that you may feel in them. Down through your buttocks and your groin area, your thighs, your knees, calves and shins. Just bringing awareness to where they are by how you're positioned. Your ankles, your heels, the arch of your foot, and perhaps the top of your foot as well. All the way to the tips of your toes. Just getting a nice sense of where you are spatially. Bringing awareness. Then after completing this body scan, open your awareness to sensations in your body. Any tension or pain. Areas of softness. The desire to fidget. Maybe even just an emotion or a feeling that passes through. What arises and grabs your attention. And open your practice to the experience of hearing. When a sound comes into your awareness, acknowledge that you are hearing. And we'll sit for a few moments with just patience, noticing any bodily sensations or sounds that may become present within our surroundings. Continue to open, and this time include the thinking mind. You may see thoughts, emotional experiences, or perhaps just general mental states, ease, calmness, apprehension. Whatever is present, just note that you're having that experience in your mind. Perhaps you could hear that vehicle driving by. That would be a sensory experience with our hearing. If the mind is reacting to any part of your experience, make that reaction a part of your practice. It's not separate, but include it. Invite it to sit with you. Breathe in. Pause. And slowly exhale. And then for the next few moments, just observe your body. Any feelings or sensations. Go ahead and open your eyes and begin to reorientate yourself to your surroundings. And certainly be mindful of where you are if you do decide to stand. Very nice. Very nice. So understanding the real world, and part of the real world is really based on perceptions. And everyone has their own different perceptions. And those perceptions arise from experiences. And those experiences tend to revolve around, or those perceptions, I should say, tend to revolve or manifest themselves as a result of ideas and concepts and notions of what we've experienced. And what I would like for you to do at this moment, just think back to a time when you were a child, with a interaction with an adult, someone in an authority figure. It could be a parent or an older sibling or a teacher. And they said to you what they said to me plenty of times as well. You just wait until you're in the real world. Well, think about that for a moment. The real world. Well, the real world is what is around us. Ignoring what our experiences and our perceptions are. We all have the same soil, the same water, the same air that we experience every single day. Same sunshine, right? Moonshine, if it's nighttime. So the real world, when we were told that or brought forth that idea, is a perspective from what someone else experienced. And they have brought that onto you. They have given you an idea, a concept, or a notion that where you are right now as a child, for example, is not the real world. But it is. And that authority figure, parent, teacher, or neighbor down the street, their real world is based on their experiences. So that's where those viewpoints come from. Viewpoints always seem to, if they're not addressed or mindfully examined, they can be biased. And they very typically are. So an individual's experiences help shape those viewpoints. And they give that person, including you and myself, certain ideas, concepts, and notions about the world we live in. And very often, those viewpoints are just overgeneralized statements based on a limited experience. It's certainly not nearly as in the world itself, the real world. And I was reading a little bit earlier today about babies and being born. I think about when a baby is still inside the mother's womb. That is their world. They know nothing beyond those confines of in the uterus. That's it. That is that baby's real world. The mother has a different experience. The baby has his own or her own. So even before we are born, we are already starting to get an idea, a concept, or a notion of what is a real world. But some of those other more common real world statements or overgeneralized statements that we experience really tend to lie upon the lines of race, right? African American, Caucasian, Asian, Pacific Islander, Native American, and First Nations, all the different wonderful races of beautiful people that we have out there. So we often get generalized statements about that. Country is another, about where somebody's country is. It's a very overgeneralized statement as well. Some people may classify somebody else's country as, not up to their standards, but they've never even been. They've never even been to that particular country. Someone's job or career, very overgeneralized statements as well. A custodian is, he's just a custodian. His opinion doesn't matter. How unfair. Devaluing, that is. Someone's society or community. Whether you live in a more affluent or middle class or even lower socioeconomic status, we make a overgeneralized statement about people who live in any one of those areas. Age, right? Age is another overgeneralized statement. We often hear divisive words. Boomer, Millennial, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, so forth. Those aren't unifying, uplifting descriptors of anybody. Gender, male, female, non-binary, whomever. Those are overgeneralized statements as well, and not inclusive. Sexual orientation or political affiliation, liberal, conservative, moderate. Those are divisive as well and shape people's experiences to where they fall and how they view others. Again, socioeconomic status or even in religion as well. We may view another religion as unwholesome compared to ours. And how divisive is that? So the real world is our perspectives, our ideas, our concepts, our notions of what our limited experience has shown us. So with so many factors weighing in on people's different perspectives or viewpoints, who's right? Who's wrong? But remember, it's not so much, it's very often there is no right or wrong. It's about perspective. For example, responsibilities, right? As a child compared to an adult. Children play. Perhaps they sleep in, watch a lot of TV or play some video games. Maybe they have some chores around the house. They have friends. Maybe they go out with, on a Saturday and go play or after school, homework or schoolwork that they do. That's their real world. Whereas an adult, right, have a job or a career. Maybe they have to drive. That's a responsibility too. And with driving comes insurance, medical and automobile, rent and mortgage and food, utilities. And, if they're married and have children, caring for a spouse and children or family duties. And so it's not a right or wrong. It's a perspective. To a child or someone in middle or high school, homework is a big responsibility. Getting enough sleep is a big responsibility. It's not that it's any different or less or more important than paying for utilities. That's a responsibility for an adult, and that is their perspective. Child has a different perspective. It's not right or wrong. It's a different perspective. And when we open up those lines of communication, the mindful communication between those two individual parties, we understand. We begin to understand the importance of each other's responsibilities. Race is another example. An African American female will certainly have a very different perspective than I would, right? Or a Caucasian male. So these are just some experiences. Or these experiences, they alter what that real world is. But yet it's still the same soil, still the same air. So when we hear others say real world, what they're truly referring to is an existence. It's based on judgment. It's based on judgment that may or may not be valid. And so when we embrace mindfulness, we embrace it and explore ourselves and others with non-judgmental awareness. We don't make a determination of whether something is good or bad, but as it being, it is. It's like a coin, right? Heads or tails. It's just the coin. Good or bad is all most often about perspective. So as you embark and develop your mindfulness practice, we learn and we explore. But then again, that's not to take away that some negativity does occur between people. There are certainly some unfortunate and very hurtful and harmful actions that do occur. But as mindfulness practitioners, we experience it a little bit differently than others. So I thank you for joining us once again on this fine July evening. And our next Dharma talk will be on August 8th. So set your calendars. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get that notification when our next Dharma talk will be. Also, if you're in the area on the end of the month, on the 30th of July, not September, of July, our silent retreat, as well as August silent retreats coming up at the end of August as well, from 7:30 to 4:30 p.m. They're free. Our weekly sanghas for healing and for veterans, new beginnings, just for our practitioners experiencing addiction of some form, a rainbow sangha, and our teen sangha. All of those sanghas are offered freely. And you're welcome to join anytime. Just register so I know how to prepare as best. And that's all there is to it. And with that, my friends, I do wish you all a wonderful night of peace and ease and well-being.